Welcome to this episode of the Talent Forge, where we are shaping the future of talent development. Today, I am joined by special guest Hilda Fainsod. Welcome, Hilda.
Thank you very much for having me here. I'm so excited to have this conversation that I'm ready to go.
All right, me too. Hilda, why don't we start with a little bit of your background? How did you get into the talent development space, and really, what is your area of specialty?
Okay, I'm Mexican. I studied an educational career. So I began as a trainer 30 years ago. And when I decided to be a trainer, I was teaching skills,
Mm.
these soft skills that I can tell they are core skills because you are going to need them in your life and your business. So I decided to do that. And when I took a training in the States about coaching, I came and I trained back in coaching. And one year I was on holidays with my daughter in the swimming pool, and we were talking about what do you want for your next year to achieve. And she said, I will love because I'm going to Spain and I will spend 6 months there. I will love to have this and that experience. And
Mhm.
she asked me back. And I said, gosh, thank you for asking me what do I want. And I'm wondering why I train in coaching and I'm not a coach.
Mm.
And I realized that training is a great opportunity when you don't have the knowledge, the basics of something, a process, steps, some ideas about something, a skill that you want to develop. But you are in the training, you teach somebody, and you don't know if they learn and apply and practice, and actually if they transform themselves.
I
And
love.
I decided there is a learning curve that says that in a day you forget 90% of what you learn
Yep.
this day. And it's awful, Jay, right?
That's exactly what I study, Hilda. And that's why we launched this entire program, is because concepts of the forgetting curve and training has just not been effective. 9 out of 10 trainings fail. 70% of knowledge gone within a day, 90% within a week. And those things are really stopping organizations from getting their bottom line met or finding the return on investment. So I love what you're talking about here in this kind of transition from training to also coaching. Please continue.
Yeah. There is also a quote that I love, and it's so clear and says, knowledge doesn't change behavior,
Mm,
practice does.
so true.
So that's why I decided to become a coach because it's the way to work one on one, to go deep into your dreams and aspirations, goals and challenges, and to work with the executives in the company and to understand what stops them or prevents them from changing. And why, if they were so excited about practicing something, it didn't happen. But you see the executive today and in 2 weeks and in a month, in a month and a half. So it's a recurrent practice. And that is transformation, really. And that's when happens.
Hilda, so you're going to laugh. I recently did a talk called 5 Reasons Talent Development is Failing and How to Fix It. And the very first questions that I asked the audience, I want you to raise your hand if you get 7.5 hours of sleep every single night. Some of the audience raises their hand. And then I ask, how many of you eat healthy vegetables, fruits every single meal? And, some of them are laughing, some of them hate. How many of you go to every single one of your doctor's appointments, checkups, and get all of your preventative health care needs met? They're laughing at this point in time. How many of you do all of those things? And like noble hands go up. I'm like, just because we know something doesn't mean that we are going to act on it.
Yeah, yeah, it makes totally sense. And I ask people, okay, how many books did you read last year? How many ideas did you apply? How can you say that this transformed the way you see life or work, business, yourself, your skills, your talents, your possibilities? And the answer is "Mm, not much. Maybe I grab an idea, and that's all. So that's why coaching for me is one of the best tools to really develop talents and capabilities, to increase your possibilities, to go from, no, gosh, that's impossible, to the possibilities.
Yep.
To allow people to go inside and find resistance and barriers and saboteurs, and all that stops you really from accomplishing, and to change it and move it and see yourself in a different shape, mentally and physically.
Yeah. So, and the interesting thing is there's some data out there. There was a research study that was published recently where it's like training has like a 23% impact. But when you couple training with coaching, that impact goes up to like 88%, which is pretty impressive. So I love what you said earlier about train the skill, coach the behavior. So let's talk a little bit more about that. How do you take that into action? What are some of your tips? Our audience is all trainers and coaches and leaders who are trying to get that kind of behavioral change. What are some of the things that Hilda does that really makes an impact in that behavioral transformation or that behavioral journey? What are some of your
Yeah.
high-end ones? What do you got?
Gosh, in my recent book, Power Up, I talk between the distinction of setting a goal for yourself or your business,
Sure.
your company, whatever, or looking to create a better you, a stronger you, work with identity. When we achieve goals, and I'm a goal digger, a goal accomplisher, a goal everything, but there's a but. If you say you want to run a half marathon, and that is a big, big challenge for you, so you began to train and to eat whatever you need and to increase your capabilities and to breathe better, hydrate, everything that a runner does. And you train a lot, and maybe 5, 6, 8 months you spend training and increasing your miles. And the day of the half marathon comes and you run and you are so excited. Gosh, you cross the finish line and you are there. And a week further than that, you don't wake up for the gym as frequently as you did. Why? Because when we achieve a goal, we mark it. That's fantastic. I achieved it. I accomplished. It was in my bucket list. Okay. And that's it.
It really resonates. And so for a long time, I played hockey and I played up to the junior level and I was very competitive, up every morning at 5 a.m. working out at after school, immediately going to the gym, eating tons and tons of calories because I was burning tons and tons of calories, skating, more than like 7 or 8 hours of exercise every single day. When I retired from playing hockey and went focused on my studies and focused on other activities, the gym stopped.
Gone.
Yeah, it's gone. I didn't have a purpose. And that's kind of what I'm hearing from you, is helping people really define maybe
Wow.
not just a goal, but that internal purpose. Is that accurate, Hilda?
Yeah, that is, Jay. It's not to remove sugar. That is really fine. But it's not only to remove sugar and to have a 30-day sugar-free plan. Is to be a healthy person. And if you are a healthy person, you take care of what you eat and increase your vegetables and your training and your sleep and all those stuff that allow you to be a healthier person. Because if not, again, you establish a goal of 30 days sugar-free, and after the 30 days, the first day you eat a cake.
I did it. I'm done. I don't
I
have to
did
do that
it. Yeah. Mark in the calendar. Finish with that. Thanks God. And you don't sustain. So if you think about being a healthier person, taking care of myself, you are going to develop some habits, and you said before behaviors. You are going to develop them to sleep in a time routine and to eat better and to take care. If you eat a cake today, okay, tomorrow you can skip it, because you are going in a long run for sustaining to be a healthier person, a better you.
So,
And that is the goal,
and,
to develop identity.
and you're taking that sort of small goal and turning it into an identification. And now, some people might come to a coach immediately and just say, hey, I want to be a better public speaker, right? And some coaches might walk them through and say, this is how you deliver, this is how you design, this is how you connect with the audience, et cetera, and all those skills that are necessary for there. But what is your process? Like, how do you actually get somebody to take what their goal is and really understand how the identity part of it becomes, I want to have I want to be an influential person. I want to be able to inspire others. I want to be a thought leader. How do you get them from going from the goal of I want to be better at public
Mhm.
speaking to that identity? What does that process look like?
Yeah, and the first question is, tell me, why is that? What do you care about? What matters to you in life and in business? Okay, you are going to do public speaking because you want to have some gigs, or you want to earn money, or there's something else. Okay, I love to impact others and to do it with so big audiences and to create an influence with the ideas I have in my head, to develop in others this kind of seed that could be in a better transformation for them. Okay, now we are talking, because you are talking about care and what matters and what is relevant and what is meaningful. And when you put meaning into something, your brain recognizes that that is important to you and wants to follow it.
Yeah, I love that, Hilda. So, a question for you: when you're interacting with some clients or people that you're coaching, do you tend to find that sort of that meta identity question, is it do you see it related to somebody's like personal values or sort of their motivational drives? How does that, where does that play out?
Yeah, that is all that you said. What matters to you? What values? What is relevant in this stage of life? And that is a very important question. In this stage of life, what do you want? Because we don't want the same in our 20s and 30s that in our 40s, 60s, 60s and plus, we
Sure.
want different in life. We change our priorities and our focus. And there are some answers that for example, I will love to have more balance. I will have more well-being, but I work so many hours, and this is a speed career, and I don't stop because I have a big drive in myself, and I'm a hyperachiever, and I want to do more. So tell me more about that, and tell me why it matters to you. And if you want to be to have well-being, not only to have performance, also happiness. Okay, tell me, what are you doing?
I love
And
that.
what is opposite of what you want in your future?
And I mean, I see that as really digging into some of that passions, taking the goals, creating the identity, digging into somebody, what is it that you actually want? And going that leveled of approach of, well, why? Well, why? Well, why? So when I finally get to my point and say, I want to be a thought leader, right? Like one of my core values, I have three that are probably my most prominent: independence, bravery, and mastery. And I notice that anything that I take on, I'm like, all right, I want to be in the top echelon. I want to be the best at it, or not even the best, but the best that I can possibly be. It's really an internal competition for me. So say I've made that transition to say, I want to go from public speaker to thought leader. And now my identity, I want to be a thought leader in this space. I want to be able to impact other people. We go through that process. A lot of people that get to that point, they still have things that block them, or they still have things that
Sure.
hold them back. As a coach, how do you help people overcome some of those blockers, whether it's limiting beliefs, whether it's
Oh,
motivation, productivity? How do you help them through that process?
yeah, I begin with creating awareness. What is the voice in your head saying to you?
Mm,
Because the voice, that part of the brain that wants us to survive and not to create major changes because it's designed to survive,
yep.
is telling you, really, do you think you can do that? Stay where you are and what you are. You are doing just fine. Why changing?
Why should I take more energy or effort? Just be
Yeah.
complacent. We're safe here. Yeah.
Yeah, who is going to tell you you are going to accomplish what you want? Too big, too scary, another level. Really? Why? So we have an inner voice, and we need to recognize what is this saboteur saying to me in order to stop it. Because when that voice appears in our head, we are going to experience stress, anxiety, guilt, shame, frustration, unsatisfaction, everything. So if I cannot recognize that voice, I really can sense in my body the stress, right? I do feel here an oppression when I'm so stressed out.
Yep.
So I can recognize that, and I can stop for a moment and see what is there, what's happening to me, why I'm in this state.
So
So the
it's
first thing is awareness, because awareness creates all those choices to move in a different way. But if you don't realize, if you don't have this clarity that you said before, you just keep walking the way
and I,
you do.
and I love that, Hilda. I was just doing a talk on sort of time management, productivity, And it's so fascinating to me because as I'm saying, okay, listen, we're going to walk through a process and this is what this is going to look like. And as I start saying, we're going to find resources, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And I said, and here's what's happening right now in your brains. Every single one of you are saying, there is no solution. This isn't going to work. We're not going to be able to save ourselves time. We're not going to be able to do this. Why are you doing that? Because you are afraid of change, or at least that voice is.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
until
yeah.
you silence that voice and actually open up and listen, you're right. You're not going to change. You're going to continue to struggle.
You
So
are
are you
going
going to,
to stop there. Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Do you want to move forward or do you want to stay exactly where you're at? Because moving forward is going to be hard. It's going to pay off, but it's going to be hard. How do you help people sort of like accept ownership on that? Okay,
Oh,
if
yeah.
I take this walk, it is going to be challenged. It's going to have value at the end. But moving out of this comfort zone of no change, my safety spot, how do you really inspire them to take action?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. There are two voices because there are two parts in our brain. The one that prevents us from changing, the survival brain, and the other one that wants us to thrive. So, which voice are you committed to listen to? So I begin to say what requires to change because we love quick fixes and as fast as that and so speedy solutions and shortcuts and they don't begin the process and they are asking when they will arrive. It's a long process and it doesn't help to think in 21 days because there's a theory that is in our head that in 21 days you will build the habit. And again, day 22, you are going to break it. Yeah. So it's not about this timing, how many repetitions, as many as it will take, but small steps, small, but recurrent tiny practices every day until that sticks in the long run. That is transformation.
Love that. Hilda, this is an incredible conversation. I love the perspectives from the coaching side, from getting that behavioral change. If the audience would want to reach out to you to talk to you more about coaching or opportunities, how would they connect with you?
Yeah, I will recommend if they want to read Power Up by Hilda Fainsod is on Amazon. They can find the book there. And also, if they want to go deeper, because sometimes we want to, but we don't know how to. We want to, but well, these beliefs and inner voice stops me. So if they want to really build a stronger, better them, to go to hildafainsod.com and to sign up and to leave a message, and I will receive that and I will see how we can work together to
So,
see transformation happens.
Hilda, we're going to put your book into the show notes, but give us just a quick 10-second, what is Power Up all about?
Yeah, power up is how to overcome limited beliefs, stoppers, blockers, saboteurs, and to build from what do you care until you sustain a complete practice, removing what stops you and having the mindset to allow yourself to change, to build those capacities because when we want something big, we get small.
Mhm.
And we need to develop capacities to deal with that. We can. Yes, we can.
And it's something that our audience, as trainers, as coaches, as HR leaders, as leaders of organizations, we've got to be able to empower our teams to get past those limiting beliefs too. So I love it. We'll put that in the show notes. Hilda, this has been an incredible conversation. I want to say thank you for joining us
Incredible.
today.
I can stay the whole day talking to you. It is
Me too.
amazing. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. And thank you, audience, for listening to this episode of the Talent Forge, where we are shaping the future of talent development.